you don't think Comic-Con is a competition between the movie studios, then there's a bridge I'd like to sell you as well. It is a competition, a brutal one, which means the next question is, who will win? Today, as Comic-Con 2014 fast approaches, we're going to take a look at what heavyweights Marvel and DC might have up their sleeves, as well as what other studios could potentially create an upset. So fittingly, Warner Brothers, aka DC, and Marvel both have their Hall H presentations on the same day, Saturday. Warner Brothers goes first, but Marvel ends the day and could push those DC headlines off the front page. Now, just a few weeks ago, Hollywood gossip guru Nikki Fink claimed to spoil the big announcement that Warner Brothers had planned for Comic-Con, that the studio would announce an entire slate of DC movies through 2018, including a Wonder Woman solo movie and a Flash Green Lantern team-up. True or not, and for what it's worth, Kevin Smith says it's true, Warner Brothers has to either make that announcement or match it. One awesome way to do that would be to show some footage from Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, as it is shooting right now, or a reveal of Wonder Woman's costume. However, the movie doesn't open until summer 2016, and Warner Brothers has to pace themselves. But an easy win for Warner Brothers this year would be to bring Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and Gal Gadot out on stage for their first DC Trinity photo op. Also, Warner Brothers is at a bit of a disadvantage as they have other movies to promote outside of their DC slate. The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, Mad Max Fury Road, and even the delayed Jupiter Ascending are all going to eat into their Hall H time, as they should, as those are big movies in their own right. Now, later that day, Marvel is clearly going for shock and awe, as just days ago they've claimed release dates for 5 new Marvel movies. Now, Marvel has movies slated through 2019, with 1 mystery flick set for 2016, 3 mystery flicks for 2017, 2 more for 2018, and 1 for 2019. Expect Marvel to fill in some of those blanks during their Hall H presentation, especially since they just released a set of pics from the Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, including our first look at Ultron. Expect Doctor Strange to be one of those mystery movies, and perhaps we'll get a Doctor Strange casting announcement. Will Marvel use those other mystery slots to fulfill their fans' wishes for a Black Panther movie? Or maybe Mark Ruffalo's The Hulk will finally get his own solo flick? Or Black Widow? Lucy does open during Comic-Con. And one also has to wonder how Marvel will be able to top Loki's appearance at Comic-Con last year. Maybe with our first look at Josh Brolin as Thanos, considering he'll probably be popping up on the silver screen 1 week later in Guardians of the Galaxy? Some awesome Ant-Man reveals would also be helpful, although we'll see if Marvel can sidestep the Edgar Wright issue there. Marvel gives Edgar Wright fans bullshit answers is not the kind of headline they're looking to make. Now, what other studios could potentially win Comic-Con? Well, while The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 will not present at Comic-Con, the very first trailer will premiere as part of the event, solely in San Diego this Friday, and then only in Best Buy stores nationwide, where they have Samsung Experience shops for the rest of the weekend. If that trailer kicks ass, which it probably will, expect that to dominate the discussion at least on Friday, which might very well be why Lionsgate picked that day instead of Saturday to release, to get out in front of Marvel vs. DC. On Thursday, Paramount could also make a splash with footage and/or reveals for Interstellar and their Terminator reboot. And of course, Fox, which is already having a fantastic 2014, can try to get the Fantastic Four on the board, here with the first group photo op and maybe even some footage as the film's currently in production. A first look at Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm would get a heck of a lot of attention. Then, of course, Legendary Pictures, no longer in the DC business, will certainly want to prove they don't need DC to make headlines. Perhaps this is why Universal didn't bother to have their own Hall H presentation at Comic-Con this year, as Legendary is now handling most of their slate, at least when it comes to blockbusters. Jurassic World, Dracula Untold, and Fast 7 could all get exposure here, as well as Guillermo Del Toro's heavily anticipated Crimson Peak, which could also mean some Pacific Rim 2 talk as well. Speaking of sequels, it's probably too early to discuss Godzilla 2, and Legendary already has enough to squeeze into their presentation. They could also discuss Michael Mann's tech thriller Cyber starring Chris Hemsworth, Everest starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Jason Clarke, and Josh Brolin based on the real-life tragedy, and of course, Warcraft, which since last year has rounded out its cast with Ben Foster, Paula Patton, and Toby Kebbell, who by the way is also Koba and the new Doctor Doom. So who do you think is likely to win Comic-Con this year, and what will they have to do to win? Who do you want to see standing next to who? And what reveals and footage do you think are a must or would just be cool? Write your thoughts down below and be sure to check in here on Beyond the Trailer throughout Comic-Con for breaking news starting Thursday. I'm Grace Randolph and this has been a Movie Bite. You can watch more right now.